Oh, oh, hello, my sweets. Oh, won't you come with me? There's oh so much to show in this grimdark distillery. So if you like bullshit or want some hobby tips, this nightmare priest nigh unbind real world magnificent welcomes you. Hello, my sweets. Hi, Roz. Hi, Possum. How are you all? I'm cleaning my desk. It's really a wet Monday in the Midwest. It was raining last night, and apparently it's going to be rainy today too, but I'm ready for it to be raining now. I want it wet now. It's drought here in the West. You want some of this wet pos? The answer to that question is always yes. Oh boy, how are you all doing? I'm going to scrape some of this nastiness off my desk and keep it. No, really though. I am gonna keep a lot of that nasty. This would be dirt from the bin, I believe. Not quite trash from the floor. Alrighty. And then I wanted to clean my top. It's gross. One second, my sweets. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do today. I know what I'm doing after stream. I'm working on this guy, which we'll go more into him. I'm going to finish up grief. That's the main thing I'm working on. I've been struggling lately, but I think I don't know, been doing a lot of deep thinking, a lot of soul searching, a lot of talking. I think I've worked most of it out. Good weekend, Mum came. Well, then we went for dinner, coffee, played some space skits at the studio. Hell yeah, that sounds awesome. No, that sounds super rad. We had a real chill weekend. Not too chill. We had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. Did a lot of up chilling. Our friends Matt and Alicia invited us to their home for Ultra Feast. No, hold on. Is that a poop? Theodore. There is a net. So I wasn't. Bag of dicks. I wasn't going to talk about it because I'll be right back, guys. I got to deal with this. I can't just leave a poop down here. Plus, got word the first shift is putting up a lathe position. So I may get out the goblin hours. That's awesome. A lathe position. That sounds cool. No, that sounds real rad. I will be right back, guys. I got to deal with a poop in the floor. Disappoint. That's what being a dad's all about, I guess, huh? It's my life, it's now or never. Yep, picking up poops, man. Yeah, I'd be running the machines I currently run. This is socially acceptable time. Just gotta hope someone with more seniority doesn't bid in. Hell yeah. Well, I mean, even if they do, there might also be other issues with that. So, as long as you are a friendly and optimistic person, I think I'm rooting for you, Roz. I think you got it. Yeah. I'm excited for you. I'm not going to get too excited because I don't want you to be bummed afterwards if you don't. I do that to myself. I try to be really optimistic, and then I'm like, well, fuck, I was too optimistic. So I don't know. I'm trying to be supportive. Nah, union dog. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. So it's not a. See, I've not ever fucked with union jobs. I have only ever worked in jobs that are just riddled with nepotism and every other kind of like what you don't really want to see in the workplace. So really, it absolutely is like, oh yeah, it comes down to who you know and word of mouth more than like anything else. But that's what I was going to get at with some people in positions. If they've been there too long, management often will not want them for higher positions because of reasons, depending on. But finger crossing. If there wasn't a contract, I'd probably just stick by it. Man, I have no idea. I don't know dick about working in any field outside of like the kinds of stuff that I've done. I've never worked anywhere that wasn't that was unionized. I don't believe. If it was, I've never been a full-time employee anywhere. That's for damn sure that was unionized. It might have been like a part-time. Oh man, that was gross. That was a bad choice on my part, guys. I put down that sticky stuff on the table to keep it to where my toolbox wouldn't move. Should have put that on the bottom of the actual toolbox, and that's what I ended up doing, which is why I took that off. But, you know, you don't know these things until you do them. And that's what knives are for, right? But I'm thinking either, like the other day, we'll start working on some Thrin after I kind of show where we're at with grief, or Necromunda. Those are the two things that I'm kind of vibing on for like my personal stuff. I really want to fuck. Oh, I got to show you guys what my fairy godparents sent me. My identical triplet godparents, fairy godparents, aka the Wires, sent me specifically. This is from Eric and Adam, but they all send me wonderful things. They're all too nice. And I'm more than happy to build anything. They're like, hey, we got this. Do you want to build it? It's like, of course I do. Oh my goodness. I need to. They sent me a Gundam. They knew that I needed a big robot to build because I was sad because the world's dying. And that's the only thing that kind of makes me feel better about it. But I've hit a point that, man, this sucks. I'm sorry, guys. I'll go on the other side. I'd only imagine telecom. Okay, hold on. From my understanding, I'd only imagine telecom, but definitely not up on the NG level. From my understanding, I'd only imagine telecom, but definitely not up at the NG level. I don't know what. As PPS seemingly having a oh yeah. So I think I don't know. Does Best Buy? The places that I worked before were all like pretty much like fuck. What is it? Retail, like typically sales, like tech, like technology, like electronics. Well, let's see. That's not technically true. The first job I had was under the table. It was in a warehouse, or not a warehouse, a factory. A factory in an industrial park in the town over. And I was working under the table. And that was that was definitely one of the most interesting jobs I've ever had. That was the fucking, if I hadn't had that job, I would not have any idea about water lasers, like water jets, like using water to cut metal and shit. And then like putting sand in it to cut anything. And that gets me really pumped. So I'm really glad that I did have that experience. I also got to experience blades, razor blades that are so sharp it actually feels mildly good when they cut you, because you're just like, wow, that's weird. I don't know what that sensation was. I've never felt that before. And then you're like, oh my god, why am I bleeding so much? And then it's not fun anymore. Like, you're just like, that was a weird feeling. Oh god. We're talking like hair, like a razor, but like a blade the size of, like the length of a hair or the width of a hair. Just, it's just such an unusual feeling. Never want to feel it again, but yeah, really sharp blades. The factory made packaging, so like foam and stuff, which is kind of funny when you think about it, because I fuck around with that like all day, every day now, and that was my very first job, was actually making the shit, specifically for BMW parts. But yeah, I worked under the table doing that. Being a goon in a warehouse. I've always been a gooner, babies. Anywho, and then from there, I started to work at FYE in the mall, which is like a music store for your entertainment. And then Office, I get this fucked up every time, Office Depot. And then from there, Best Buy. And then from there to Bluegrass, which was the beginning of my telecom career. And every one of those was because someone said, hey, you should come work with us. And I was like, okay. That's how I've gotten all my jobs. Someone that I know says, hey, we need someone who does this thing. And I know you're good at that. And I'm like, yeah, I am good at that. I'm lovable. Wink. Or just weirdly too memorable. One of those two. Anywho, I've almost got this shit scraped off my desk. What are we saying over here? Boop, 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 boop. From my understanding, I don't even mention telecom. Oh, fuck no. Kroger and their associated corpos are UFCW, but I don't think any tech goods stores are. Okay, God. The factory probably could have been. That's all I was thinking. Or Teamsters, but you were under the table. So definitely not, because the proper steward would have. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I assumed that it was not kosher, like, at all. Like, and it wasn't just me. There was a series, or there was a team of young boys. Sometimes you just need a good group of boys, you know what I mean, to do the work of men. And by men, I mean adults of any sex, gender, nationality. But instead, you just get a group of boys. And you pay them whatever, you know, under the table. Here's just a check, babies. But yeah, because we were all underage. That's what it was. It was like, hey, do you want to work in a factory underage? It was like, fuck yeah, I do. And they're like, cool. Well, we can make this work. But yeah, it definitely, I appreciated it. Like, I don't feel like I was taken advantage of. I feel like, if anything, I was given an opportunity, because it gave me a very good glimpse into what the fucking real world was like. And also, I got to give a shout out to everybody who worked there that was like older, that was like, hey man, let me give you some life advice. Because I do appreciate that they actually gave a fuck. It's funny that, like, those kinds of people, you don't really meet those kinds of people in school, where you're actually supposed to be learning how to exist in the world. You meet them outside doing real world things. I've always been happy with my choice of going for a real world education as opposed to a paper one from books that are out of date before you purchase them. Anyway, let's see what we got here. And hey, babies, I got it. Look at that. The clean table. That's a clean table. Well, it's as clean as I'm getting it right here. We can get that cleaner. Is it going to bother me? I don't know. Factory, a check? That's the dumbest way to be under the table. Yes, it is. Still, there should have been adult supervision with that. Maybe a skilled trades program. I was just saying, I mean, there was adult supervision in that there was like, there were other adults in the factory, in the warehouse. But no, it was essentially children learning how to use extremely dangerous tools. That's where I learned to use, actually, like, Steve and I were talking about this, because he had never used a hot glue gun, and he never bought a hot glue gun. And I was like, what the fuck? You've never used a hot glue gun? I was so like, I was a teacher's kid, so like I grew up. I don't honestly know. It'd be very cool and interesting to look at like get an actual real close up look at my fingertips to see how much of them have fucked up and like how much the print's not there. Because I've been cutting my fingertips off since I was a kid with scissors and shit, like just always cutting up cardboard, cutting up something. But yeah, with your mom being a teacher, like hot glue gun is like a tool I learned to use before I was like 5. Yeah, I was probably 5 by the time I was using hot glue guns very competently, if that. That sounds about right. 5 or 6. Anyway, but yeah, when I started to work at that factory, that's the first time I ever saw an industrial hot glue gun, and they fuck. How were the OSHA violations? Yeah. How were the OSHA violations? Correct. Well, there was this dude, and man, I'm not ever gonna remember his name. He had a very MGK vibe, and was from around that area, but wasn't him. But very much looked like him. Anywho, yeah. At one point in time, it was so fucking hot in there. Man, I don't think I'm gonna tell this story. I'm not gonna tell this story. I'll talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. Johnny's looking crazy. Also, I guess I could show you Theo. Let me move some things though first. 1 second. Yeah, one second, guys. My bad. I gotta pull all my pirate stuff in the pirate drawers. Okay. How did this get back on there? That's that glue shit I just scraped off. Yeah. Oh no. There he is. Can you see him? He's in the chair. Just a little baby. Just a little baby. He says, Dad, why are you showing me them there? Why don't you show me them over here? There he is. There's that little baby. He's so good. What a great boy. Anywho, all right, guys, what do we want to do? How were the OSHA violations? Yes. Yeah, no, for real though, they were pretty on point. Like I said, that's where I learned about lots of ways to get hurt that I didn't know existed before. Some of them more fun than the others. Some of them not fun at all. Most of them not fun at all, actually. I'm going to go ahead and rephrase every bit of that. But man, it definitely also, I will say, a hundo gave a lot of inspiration for like terrain and shit, because like working in a big fucking warehouse and you're like fucking around with like rusted shit. Definitely that. And my buddy Derek he still works at the airport, the local airport, which is smaller. It's like family owned, his family, big family, like a mafia style kind of thing, which I love. Anywho, yeah, just having access. I think living kind of where I do, I have access to a lot of shit that like I can go and check out. That's like, man, hey, let me look at this big industrial thing that's covered in rust and looks crazy, and like, I don't know. I'm pretty appreciative of that. Grief. Yeah, I guess we can look at grief. 8:25. Sorry, my sweets. I am on live. Yep. Okay. My brain is just like, I got too many things. I'm just trying to get my shit together at this point. I've been so all over the place that I've been trying to figure out how to do what I want to do. And I think I've been so caught up in my head and worrying about that shit as opposed to just doing what I fucking want to do and knowing that that is how I'm going to be able to move forward. So yeah, this week I'm kind of getting my and I keep saying this, but getting my head cleared and being like, yeah, what do I need to do? What do I truly want to do? And I want to make shit. God, I don't want to be a fucking influencer, and I hate trying to learn how to do video editing and all that stuff. And it's just like, I want to make the art that I enjoy and truly love. So that's kind of where grief kind of got brought back in the picture. And I realized that I was absolutely using doing grief on stream as a crutch. And you can kind of tell because right away it's just like it hadn't been based. Like I'm dicking around with oil paints on it for weeks, but like it's not even textured all the way yet. So it's just that kind of thing. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but coming to terms with that definitely made me be like, yeah, I got to kind of do that off stream, but I can definitely touch base and show you guys where we're at with it. Man, there are some silly fish in this fish tank. I'll be right back. Coming back. Yeah, Theo's tummy's not feeling too good today, I don't think. Not to talk about his business. Poor guy. Grief, 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 grief. Every time. Don't go right about there. I think we need to come to terms with the idea of moving on from Warhammer. Okay, which I think we need to come to terms with the idea of moving on from Warhammer. Grief. We meaning the collective freaks. So, yeah, it's... And that absolutely is so much of when I initially started to do this. I was like, oh yeah, I want to lean into 1490, I want to lean into Necropolis, I want to lean into Flames of Orion, I want to lean into the games that my friends have made. And I do absolutely agree with that. Because I think that better games are made by other people. They are the biggest horse at the, in the ring, or whatever, the biggest name. Everyone knows who they are. But they have not made, like, the good games. Like, the games that, like, I want to play in decades. Titanic, I will say, Adeptus Titanicus fucks. It's great. Necromunda, I enjoy Necromunda, but it's just, there's just a lot of things that cultural weight in shorthand. That's so, it's it. There's so much. It's yes and no. I think, me personally, I get so caught up in trying to show how I know that I am not good at presenting how I am, what I'm doing or what I'm thinking, or at least I feel like I'm not. And knowing that just all the time that's going to take to learn how to do so much like camera shit, it's just like I know I'm just better off building things that I truly want to build. So that's kind of like I absolutely want to do more storytelling, but God, man, the idea of making so many orcs, like actually building armies, I've not done that in so long. So okay, I think it's a crutch. Because I assume you also mean the world itself, boss. Yeah, I think that's what he meant. He meant like collectively freaks, not just me. But yeah, here's grief. Here's where we're at with grief. The first thing I did was address the lack of texture. Grief did not have as much texture as it needed. A lot of its skin was very flat. And I have been using potting soil a lot. That's the big texture inspiration as of late. Let's see if we can really. Yeah, grief looks exponentially more nightmarish than the last time you all saw it. And all I've done is rub dirt. Like, that's all I did. Kelly was like, man, I really, the skin tone is much more, it was a peach, and now I can tell that you've done a lot of work to it. And I was like, I literally just rubbed dirt into it. And yes, Ross, I think the stories being told don't need to be through the lens of GWIP. That's that. I love, and see, I go back and forth because, like, I talked to Johnny about it. Like, I love Warhammer. I love the universe, but God, I don't want anything to do with Games Workshop's Warhammer. Like, their Warhammer is not my Warhammer by any means. Andy Hoare's Warhammer, that's my Warhammer. I'll tell you that. So it's just, there's just so many games and there's so many things that I want to work on. But then at the end of the day, you have to be like, oh, I don't know. I think I get caught so much in the, what are you supposed to be doing? And it's just like knowing what I need to be doing versus like listening to what I think I'm supposed to be doing, whether like, you know, someone else is telling me that or like my head is telling me that. Like, it's just, there's so much of a disconnect between the two oftentimes, it seems. And I'm realizing that I've got, nope, that's just a shadow. So pretty much right here is where I needed to remove a little bit. I am going to just kind of cut away at that. Just seeing everyone constantly going back to GW games and GW products is tiresome. Yeah, no, I get that. I have not. I enjoy the dead games and the old games, but that's it. Personally. And that I include that, like, you know, Titanicus, Heresy second. But I also, again, I 3D print fucking everything. Like, I've not bought a Games Workshop model in I don't know how long. The last thing actually was the Leviathan, two Adepticons ago. That's the last time I bought anything GW. And before that, it had been years. The only things that, like, I had, like, new things I had were like, oh, they were sent to me, or, like, you know, from someone else. Like, oh, hey, check this out. Before that, I spent a fuck ton. But when I started to build Gundam models, that's when I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna buy any more Warhammer stuff. And I think I'm also going to buy a 3D printer because just the reaffirmation in my mind of, one, it's for making, like, one is a model company and then the other is a gaming company that, like, has miniatures. I guess there's just such a big difference in my head between a miniature and a model kit. And then, you know, what have you. But yeah. With that said, I am still glad that I've been, you know, building a giant fucking table. Because a 4x6 table is pretty common across a lot of games. So it's not going to be something that I'm like, man, I wish I hadn't had that giant fucking table. And it also serves, you know, once you put a topper on it, it serves as a good base for a role-playing game table. So, and that's important. I need to get back to doing that. I haven't done any role-playing games in so long. Yeah, sorry, I hope I didn't get too completely off base with that. But yeah, grief, essentially, we've just been adding a whole lot of dirt to him. We'll do, let me get in, I think the 35, it still autofocuses. Yeah. So, I need to make sure that the eyes, I want them to look very much like they have, would you include OPR in this POS? Orange page rules? And just tell the kids with a straight face through a SharePoint microphone and JBL speakers. Corporate rock is for suckers. Oh man, yeah. A SharePoint microphone. I'm not familiar with SharePoint microphone, but and JBL speakers. I know JBL. I don't have any JBL. I got some Bose. But the SharePoint microphone and JBL speakers, I everything about. I don't know what that's a reference. That just everything about that just screams. Every like fucking meeting I had to go to at 7. Sorry, that auto-corrected from Shure. A SharePoint microphone, JBL speakers. Corporate rock is for suckers. Yeah, it's God. I just assume that this is said at like a meeting, like right before a meeting that I had to get to at 7 in the fucking morning, because I don't think we're that far from GW mechanical lineage when we break down our games. Oh no, 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 no! I will never say that, and I can't. That's another thing. Games Workshop. It's. I would like. I think I know what Possum is saying, but I think it's hard because I think so many of us also have so much. At least the older people who've been doing this for like me, like third edition. I mean, regardless of what, I think OPR is a Band-Aid. OPR is a Band-Aid. Yeah, I agree with that. OPR is literally just, hey, how do you make Warhammer less book, which is trying to fix the issue that Games Workshop does. But the biggest issue that Games Workshop does is definitely the way that they produce miniatures and how the pricing, the design, all of that, how that is done solely with the intention of being used for a game to be used in a specific way, so you have to have that one model. And I do think that, yeah, across the board, if you are a good game company, you'll go system or, miniatures agnostic, because if you have a good game, you sure as fuck don't need to rely on selling your models for people to play your game. That's just how it is. If it's a good game, people will, they'll play it. I mean, if it's a good game, people will play it for decades after it's fucking dead. Looking at you, Munda, and Blood Bowl, and all these other games. But Space Hulk, I do think that because of the origin of how long they've been the game. They've been the game, not just like the biggest name in the room, but like the name in the room. In some way, shape, or form, I think it's unavoidable that everything will owe some kind of its lineage to that. It's kind of like almost like, oh yeah, it kind of reminds me of Star Wars. Star Wars comes up when you like, if you don't fuck with sci-fi, but like you see some of like Calamity stuff, you're like, oh man, this reminds me of Star Wars. It's like if you are utterly mainstream and sci-fi to you is interchangeable with Star Wars, and it's like, yeah, I could see how you would think that this is Star Wars when it's just like, it's not at all. It's kind of like, man, this sounds like Modest Mouse, and it's like, what that means is it doesn't sound like Nickelback or whatever on the radio. I think the freaks have mostly matured past the modern mini FOMO train, though. Yeah, that's I think that, yes. I don't know. I don't keep up with that all the games. So I don't know. When I go back to a game, it's because, oh man, I like that game. The miniatures are less the problem. Yeah. I mean, it's the nonstop. Hey, let's make you pay for the same fucking rule book 12 times every year. That we didn't do anything different to, and like if we did anything, even with the art, it's like, man, you sure wish we hadn't. We fucked that up good, baby. Speaking of fucking awesome shit, I think you all were telling me about this. Nope, where'd it go? Well, yeah, I'll show this first. Here's what I got in the mail from my fairy godparent, Eric. Everything is always rooted in 40K. Yeah. It's a perfect grade Mark II. Sometimes you just wake up to a perfect grade Mark II, and you're like, oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. I love, this is This is, it's probably my favorite perfect grade. And I am of two mindsets of what I am going to do with it, because I've already built one completely, like out of the box. And again, that's when I say that it's like my favorite. If you are like, hey, I want to buy a perfect grade and I don't want to buy the 178-2, the PG Unleashed, and I'm going to put this on the shelf, and I'm going to grab the little book that I know I wanted to talk to you about. Where did it go? Where are you, you silly little fuck? Theo, where'd you put that book? I'll never tell. Theo, tell me. There. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's a possum or a Roz reference right there, a recommendation. I was told to check that out. That was put in the box. That was sent from Adam. So I'm looking through that. Holy shit! I loved that little zine. It's one of my favorite little zines I've ever looked at. Fuck yeah, got me real pumped. Got me really wanting to make some big robots. And it got me like feeling comfortable about stepping outside of my comfort zone. So yeah. Shit, what was I? I came over here to get something else. Oh, yeah, the Unleashed. I've got to get up in my crawl space today and get my box down. I've assembled Gundams to put some stuff up and change some stuff out, I think. But while I'm up there, bespoke world building. Oh yeah, I was telling you about that. Impost. Bespoke world building, Parabellum Conquest. Oh yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, possum. Yes, I thought so. That's, well, yeah, I think, I don't know. I think that we have a lot. I think, I mean, fuck, I know personally speaking, and I've said this to Steve multiple times. Is this glue? I think that's glue. Looks like shit. Hey, teddy bear. Okay. You look so sad. Why do you look so sad? You don't feel good, I can tell. I know. He says, Dad, I don't feel good. Can I hang out with you today? And I said, yes, every day. Poor baby. Anywho, so my rant real quick about perfect grades. And also games, so I'll do the perfect grades. So this is the PG Unleashed, and I've not done anything other than just built it. I suppose I need to do panel lining and decal it. I think it's worth doing that. I don't think I really need to do any painting other than panel lining, but fuck no, I definitely see some spots that I would touch up. It's definitely worth me doing the extra work because of how much I appreciate what this model kind of symbolizes, but it is definitely the most advanced model kit that they built until the new Gundam, the PG Unleashed, the RX 17. Yep, RX 179. Man, I'm not going to remember the new Gundam's designation off the top of my head. Anywho, yeah, as far as perfect grades, if you are like, man, I'm only going to buy one perfect grade, if you don't have any attachment to this guy, the grandpa, if you are just like, man, I only just want to build what Eli thinks is the best perfect grade, it's the Mark II. It's the one I just showed, like the Gundam Mark II. That is, yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped to build it. But so yeah, I built one completely right out of the box, and as I said, it is my favorite perfect grade, and it's my favorite because it has the most. It truly, I think, encapsulates what a perfect grade should be, and in the same way that like the very first time I put together the Barbatos, and like when I was putting together the Sazeby Verica, which is my favorite model kit that exists. It is just beyond rewarding as somebody who fucking loves watching mechanical parts move and function. There is no other perfect grade that I think per dollar gives you as much reward as the Mark II. When you move parts, you see how it moves, and it's so fucking rewarding. It's so cool being able to move the leg and see, oh yeah, when this leg goes up, it's because these pistons have to move this way, and they do that because of the basic mechanical functions that you've built into it. It's fucking sick. That kind of stuff. That's why I love Gundam, and that's why it's just like when it comes to difference between miniatures and models, it's like there is absolutely no comparison between the two. They're completely different things in my book. But this, and you can turn one into the other, but that's a whole different story. This book, man, it's sick. And it really, I think right around here, where they just kind of have a entire section. It's only a couple pages, 17, so maybe like five or six pages of just, hey, how do you go about kind of converting your stuff into looking kind of like old Koba or Kondo models, which Koba and Kondo are very much responsible for things like most people know them from Zeta Gundam, but fuck, there's just so many things that I loved about this, so I was utterly delighted. The O, I always want to call it the big O. It's not the big O, it's just the O. I've always enjoyed it, but I never would have guessed that. Yeah, goat, straight fucking goat, both of them. And there is a picture. I don't think it's in here, man, but there is a drawing of the 178-2 of the OG Gundam. It's one of the sickest fucking drawings I've ever seen of the gun, like of the white. It looks like the fucking white devil. Like you're just like, Jesus Christ, that thing is a monster. I don't think it's in here. I think I found it on my phone. But yeah, fuck me. Possum, do you already know what that is? Do you know where this comes from? If not, I'm going to go grab what it comes from and I'm going to show you, and it's going to blow your fucking mind. But I would never have known if I had not read this book. Kondo's goat. Roz, I think it's as simple as removing connection to the source material. And I think that's it. I think so too. I really, I don't know how much you guys have looked into Thren, but outside of Necromunda, that's the game that I'm really, Necromunda, Steve, and all my friends, and I have wanted to play it. I have so many books. I've put so much time into wanting to play Necromunda, and now that I have people that I can do it with, it's just like, okay, I gotta do it. But as far as what I want to make, I'm focusing on doing commissions and working on things that I know I need to make or I want to make. Things like Grief, the other things like my demons. But in my personal time, I want to work on stuff either for Necromunda or for Thren, because Thren really strikes a chord with me, and the current state of the world, and I think I can really, best of both worlds, showcase my art and the game for a friend and have fun all at the same time, while working on Thren Odyssey stuff. So it's definitely, and I find no connection to GW in the source material from it. So personally, But yeah, yeah. Possum. Do you know where this shape originates? That big old ass on the O. Uh, because I did not, and now that I see it, it gets me so pumped, and I have to tell everybody. But I would have never even known this until I was looking through here. It was talking about. Fuck, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to find it, but off the top of my head by just flipping. But I'll show you what it is. I was just gonna give you time to see if you can guess. All right. Timer's on the clock, Possum and Ross. I'm gonna go get what this is from for all the internet points. Where does the butt of the O come from? Boop, 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 boop-a-doop-a-doop, boop, boop, beep-a-dee-ba-deep, beep, boop, boop, boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop, That's the like the music that, you know, hey, kind of like Jeopardy music. Nobody? Okay. Well, I'm gonna show you. Here it comes. Slave One. How fucking wild is that? The Enterprise, Millennium Falcon. Yeah, close. Yeah, no, it's the Slave One. Which I know. Like, so somewhere in here it was. It says. And I would never even, it doesn't say what that is. It has to do with like, oh, you know, reusing blank to figure out, boop, 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 boop. Oh, okay, yeah, so here's the O. It says, look outside of Gunpla for kit bashing material. Old military kits from companies like Tamiya are classic sources of greebles and bits to add detail to your kit. But there are other sources too. Bandai Star Wars models can be a good option for parts. Try and spot what part of Kobayashi's the O models use Boba Fett's Slave 1, for example. And think outside the ordinary. And yeah, I looked at this for a long time trying to figure out, okay, where are the Slave 1 parts? Because the Slave 1 is... I have a model of the Slave 1. The Slave 1 is one of my favorite designs ever. And it's one of my favorite designs ever because of the origins of it, in which, to my understanding, it was based on looking at a street light. The shape of a street light upside down is kind of where, from my understanding, the original thing that I read about what led to the design of the Slave 1. And that, as a child, really stuck with me and made my imagination just run wild trying to think of, oh, hey, you know, looking at things upside down, looking at them from different angles, that kind of stuff. But it's fucking wild to be like, oh man, I'm looking all over for this thing. Like, where is a very noticeable part? And then I'm like, okay, it's got to be something pretty big. If it's not the fins, and then it's like I got to the back, and as soon as I saw the slide that goes up, it's like that is absolutely the put Captain Holo in the cargo sold. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I really like it. And also now you can kind of see that I think this is a 172 Millennium Falcon, or sorry, 172 Slave 1, and this is a 144. So yeah, that would make it about that big. So that tail kind of fits right in there. I don't know. Very cool book. Highly recommended. Highly recommend. This is a whole different thing that we haven't talked about, but this came in, and I haven't even had a chance to look at it. So we probably should wait till I've done that before I go off and rant about it. Or we can look at it together. I'm going to go put the Slave 1 back in the display case. Yep. That's all the boy does. Arg. The desire to pick one of my Gundams and actually fucking finish it, fully decal it, paint it, all that stuff is very strong. And every time I think I'm like, this is the one, I'm like, man, I don't fucking know which one to pick. It's hard. It's hard. Beep boop bop. So yeah, Koba Kondo document. Highly recommend it. Made me want to build robots. What more can you really ask for? You know? Where Fields Go Fallow is an ogreish tabletop story game about common folk who rise where no others will. You play as villagers, farmers, herders, blacksmiths, whose home is found by a creature of war, a chimera spawned to bring ruin to kingdoms. Without weapons or training, can you protect your home and those you love, and what will it cost? It's my kind of setting. You're not the heroes. You're just an everyman. I love that kind of stuff. Those are my favorite characters. You must rise. Oh boy. $8.57. There was a very pricey Kondo resin kit on Garage Kit Club. Oh man, I can't even imagine. I've not ever looked at any of those. But just knowing how much Calamity kits cost, it's just like, oof, I'm definitely going to be making my own for years before that's like even a possibility. And I was talking to Kelly about that, where it's just like, I don't even think the idea of purchasing like the new Gundam Perfect Grade, it is so expensive and so unreasonably like, it's like, man, I can't justify spending that much on a model kit, no matter how much. It's like, well, it might be worth it. As far as like, oh, it's really, really wild, you're not gonna experience anything like that. It's just like the fact that I could buy almost every other Perfect Grade that I have combined for that. It's like, I can't imagine that's worth that much. But on top of that, it's just like, I don't think I'm up to snuff. I don't think my skills are up to snuff to justify that. At least in that regard. But I am going to take my break real quick. I'll be right back. And then we will do something. We're either going to work on some Thren stuff or some Necromunda stuff. Or maybe we can go back to kit bashing that robot if there's anything. One of those three. We could try our own hand at some Koba Kondo stuff. That sounds kind of fun. Thren terrain or making a little Thren monster. Yeah, Thren, Munda, Gundam. I'm down with whatever. But I'll be right back. Beep doop boop 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 boo. Beep.
When she comes, she's made of bronze and stone. And I'm just fur and teeth and blood and bitter angry bones.
And we're back. Sorry, my sweets. Okay. Well, I kind of was thinking about what I wanted to do, and I think I know what I want to do. So let's get to it. Boo doo boo 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 boo. Okay. Move you girls up here. Where is... We're going to grab this, and we're going to hope that this works. It's working. Oh, yeah. I got you now. Alrighty. I sent you pictures of the kit on Disco. Hell yeah, I will check that out. I need to do something with this at some point. I'll probably be something for Throne. If anything, it's probably going to be, yeah, it's absolutely going to be something for Throne now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. What? Did not mean to get them out. Get back in here. Silly Goliaths. Okay, Mag. Okay. I kind of want to make some Thren stuff. And I think I kind of want to use some Necropolis stuff as a basis because I have Necropolis parts that I'd set aside, but then I had a bunch of other extras that I did not have anything planned. And they would be great to kind of base little quick conversions on. So I'm going to dig around with those for a second, I think. And first I'm going to check on what Possum sent. Oh. Yeah. No, that's good. A little Zimmerit paste. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I can only imagine how expensive that is. But that does look awesome. Does this look goofball? Some wood. No, I love that. These goofs. I'm trying to remember what I had planned for Necropolis, but at the same time, I can always reprint whatever. So I think these are something else. A little spider, a little goofball. Let's go back to my GW rant. Yes, please do. I think people come up with some really sick ideas and then drop it into 40K as a way to make it more exciting. And that's it. So I agree with that. I do think, and I am guilty of that. And I have tried to kind of retake my ideas that I've kind of put into their settings over the years. I've been trying to kind of pull my shit out so I can use it for what I want, as opposed to just letting it end up as something that they fucking have also. So yeah, just that kind of stuff. I completely understand what you're saying, and I get that, and I agree with that. Leggies. Okay. These axes, I'm guessing, went in here with the Beastlands. All right. True. Just make people do the reading on your own shit. Yeah, that's it. Like, I think that's a good call. So, trying to debate how I want to go with this, but I think I need to look at the Thren rules. Let's look at Thren rules real quick. We'll make a little Thren guy. Boop. Next, choose your Necronaut units. In Mouse Tag, may control up to 6 Necronauts, while synchronized with their phylactery. Restoring salary is 150. You may spend it on purchasing each Necronaut unit, as well as tech and rune upgrades for them. Necronauts and upgrades from 1 of 3 different model types through defining attributes. Each Necronaut comes equipped with 1 melee weapon and 1 firearm. Okay, so. Yeah, pretty much just small, medium, big. Everyone can shoot, everyone can attack in melee. Certain things make them better, but everyone I should make to where they have the option to do one or the other. And our base ranges are, I want to say 25 to, I mean, fucking big. So base size 32, base size 25, base size 40, but max size 80. So 25. So we've already got some 25s here. So here's 25, here's 25. We want, who do I want to be my first? I kind of like those guys, but I'm also thinking one of these would be good. Oh shit, true. Or if you have to send it on an IP, choose something different. Battletech, War, Star Wars, whatever. Yeah. When can you be an EP? Night, homies. Night, Roz. Thank you for hanging out. Enjoy your good lunch sleep. I think a lot of this comes from being in a chat where they've made plans to play such indie games such as Shadow War Armageddon, 40K 3rd edition City Fight, 40K Wartime, 11th edition. Who is wanting to play 11th? Gross. Sorry, I didn't mean that slipped out. Do whatever you want that makes you happy. But, oof. Now, City Fight, fuck yeah. And more time. Like, so I love old Dead games, like old 40K Dead game. It just, so those, now Shadow War, I don't know about that. There's definitely, I like both. We've tread this ground time and time again. Yeah, that's it. Where are my tools? I need my tools. My things. I like to bind, like to be bound. Cool dentist quotes for you there. Let's get a knife. That's an Eli quote for you there. Let's get a knife. Seriously though, where the fuck did my knife go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, no, we've stomped those grounds many a time. You are correct. I want somebody who's possibly more robed. I think I want more robes. I don't know. I do like the idea of kind of making those guys. Too many options. Too many choices. This guy looks fun. I might do this one. We might go with this. This seems like, honestly, both of these, I kind of just want to turn these into big undead cyborgs. That just seems the right choice. Those are on 32s, so that's a standard casket, right? That's a 32, right? Or is that a 40? That's a 32. That's a 32, right? Let me grab a 40. Let me grab one of my 40s. Here's a 32. That's a 32. Okay, they're great. That's great. Okay, cool. Well then, never mind. We're gonna go with that. I'm gonna snip off those arms. And you lost your arms just like this. Beep, 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 beep. I think these are from Distillery, but I could be mistaken. Okay. And let's see. Your arms too. No more arms for either of you. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Theodore. This is Dad, you're throwing shit everywhere. We're gonna grab the other box of bits. What the f just fell? Come on. Come on. It's me, Big Tom. This is just going in here, and so is that. Oh, wait, no, I remember now. I was gonna grab these. Maybe some of these. We'll see. But a hundo beats. Also, like, I'm a hypocrite or whatever, because eventually I'll make a 3rd edition 40K army, and I'll go play more time with my friends, but it's more out of necessity to interact in the hobby than a true desire. I get that. Like, the shit is cool, it's just being bombarded with it is exhausting. I get that. I get that entirely possible. And same. And that's why it's just like, man, I really did. I want to work on 3rd edition because it is truly what, like, got me to love tabletop gaming. And the callback is very, very, I like it. I'm going to go ahead and start snipping some of these arms. I'm going to drop this down real quick. Beep, beep, beep. I think that's good. Catch me another dice. Only playing Quorum BattleTech. I would like to play BattleTech with you at Under the Dice Possum. That is a goal of mine. Which I think is achievable. I like these. These are going to come in handy for something. Those other parts we don't really need. Now, as far as robot parts, we're gonna need some bracing. Maybe some of this, some of this, some of that. Who's to say? When you don't know what car parts are, it's easy to fuck around. Alone in the basement, pushing my models around, going pew pew. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm so down to play BattleTech. That is the goal. Oh yeah, we're gonna. I've been thinking that I wanted to use these windshield wipers. It's kind of like braces. And I think they definitely will work depending on where we go with them. Like there, that could work. If the leg was not. Nah, even then it's still possible. We can still make it work. I definitely want to have some little metal braces on these legs though. We just might have to do a different kind of little brace. Basement, pushing my models around. Beep pew pew. This is not open. Alone. I need to put a hole in this, but I don't really want to blow it out again. So, there we go. All right. I guess I could put the light down here. I guess I could also zoom in or drop it a little further, but zooming in is probably the best. We're going to add some kind of square, something on the back there. I know I've got a bunch of canisters and what have you that I printed out, oversized. I think they're from Trench Crusades, STLs. What's a good canister? Printed a bunch of them out. And again, part of the whole thing with Thren was I didn't want to have anything that was not already done. Like I want to really make it about using what you've got. yeah, we're gonna absolutely be putting those there. That's gonna be sick as fuck. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Dremel. We're gonna hit that up too. I'm excited. I'm enjoying this. There it is. I was like, where the fuck did my Dremel go? It's already plugged in. Why are we dremeling it? Because we're gonna put a cable in that for sure. Sorry, I'm not doing that where you can see. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and have this angled there. So it looks like they are connected. Really? There we go. Okay. Weird. Nope. Fuck, where'd that go? There it is. I really don't want to have to pin that, but... And I'm not gonna. You know what? It is what it is. I'm not pinning it. I'm not doing that. So this, let's go right there. This right here. Alone, 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 alone. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, okay. I'm vibing with this. it might be the choice. Yeah, that's fucking pretty fucking sick. Alright, yep, that's cool. I like that. Let's get you in there. Let's cut that. This needs to be shaved. Shitty old plastic. I like it. It's very easy to cut. Somewhere along the lines, I think I broke this blade. I might put on a little bit of tunes. That one, I'm just not doing this in silence. I think we're going to go with the typical Renaissance. There we go, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move these little critters out of the way. I think I might need to turn that down. One, yeah. Probably I need to change blades. Not even probably, I need to. Uh, hmm. I like how much is coming back there. I think this needs to be about there. Or right there. But I think it might be too big. Mm. Sorry not to go completely non-verbal here, but I'm just really kind of enjoying kind of building. So, let's see. I'm also trying to find. Oh, okay, I think there's where we need to be. If not, then here it is. So we need something to wrap around there. I think we want to make that the gun. I do think that looks pretty fucking sweet. I think we might have to go with that. I like that a lot. It's cool, homie. Enjoy your hobby time. Okay, thank you, Possum. Yeah, sorry. Definitely enjoying making some little cyborg zombies. Corpo cyborg zombies. It's right there, I think. Yeah, right there. And then we want to lock that in. Now let's start adding some. this shot. There we go. As much as I love that, that looks crazy. And trying to make that make sense would be too much, I think. Let's see. I'll try to fill up that. That needs to be there. before my brain will register that that's not even going to be there. So let's pick something to fill that hole with. I'm thinking, there we go, that looks good. Nah. Part of me thinks maybe just dirt or sand, but also I'm just like, I kind of don't want to do that. Not yet. But other than that, I'm thinking, nope, I think I need to. Or cabling. Probably put some cables in there coming in and out. You could do that. Or even having them hang out broken. I like that. It's just dragging a bunch of cables around. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Let's go right there. That looks good. Okay. I like that. Wrong side. Let's go ahead and cut that off too. Shit, here it is. Gotcha. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to want to get another circle. Smaller. So we need an elbow. And then a hand. We'll probably use these for whatever kind of hand or whatnot. No. There. That's good. I think. That looks good, but so does this. You look like on the other side. That's pretty good. Very basic. Agree with that. Let's shave this. I'll stop there. Oh shit, it's already 10:02. Well, piss. I'm gonna drill these holes. And then we will. Woohoo! I suppose. Start getting ready to clear here. One. It needs to be 45 almost. Right there. Make sure we don't go in too hard. gives us this. Which is the foundation of a pretty sick arm. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So pretty much from there, we just need the other half. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this is going so far. Once we do all the cabling and what have you, that'll be real fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and super glue that. And this, that way I don't lose the pieces. Come on. But, come on, don't stick to my hand. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we will probably start wrapping up here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and keeping me company. Possum, Roz, anyone else who is in chat, thank you guys so much. Your time is the most important thing that you have, resource, commodity, asset, whatever you want to call it. It is finite. So any of it that you want to spend with me really means the world to me. Until next time, be good to yourselves and each other. Sit pretty, be always proud of who you are. Take care. And I will see you guys on Friday, possibly Thursday evening. I'm gonna see how much I get done. But yeah, until next time, thank you guys again so much. Thank you. You guys have a good one. Bye, Possum. Bye, friends.